All right, let's go ahead and get started with the readings, guys. So first we're starting over here. Let me move that up there. With the potential that he or she is the one. This is, whether you're in the relationship or have the connection, they want me to make sure I let you guys know. So we start off with first card, Ace of Wands. So this is aces are all nothing about are always about potential, not nothing. They're always about potential to meet, potential that the divine is offering to you to take. Okay. You have to either take it or let the chance pass you by. So what you have here is passion, very strong passion that could perhaps, exist from a past life because it is spiritually based. Okay. So think newness, think, overwhelming connection, with this person, the start of something amazing happening. Okay. But it came out with another card. And so it came out with a six. Sixes are usually about balance. And so this came out with a Six of Swords, which is not a pretty good card to get. Because that means that you're moving away from emotional turbulence. That has been caused by what's going on up in your head, because swords are always about what's going on in the mental space, for me when they come out. So you're moving from this kind of emotional rockiness to over here to some clear water. So that's why there is a strong potential for you to have something new on the horizon, on the beginning. So that's what you're moving toward, right? And so I feel like you are probably going to go ahead and take that newness, that new connection, with that person. Okay. So next card is looking at the long-term, potential of the relationship or marriage material, wherever you are, as far as your connection with the other person. Okay. This is the Empress. Beautiful card to get because she's all about love, 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 as you can see. Down here with the heart, she represents Venus. She's very close to the planet Venus, and so are you all. And she is just basically the embodiment of the divine feminine. So she loves with her full heart, with her full being. And so because of that, she is emotional balance. She is enlightenment. She is sensual. She is emotional abundance, emotional balance, and she's stable in all of these feelings, all that she is. And because of that, she's able to kind of give away that nurturing, and that love to other people. And so when you have the love or an Empress type of love, it is in a place where it can just like lift you up, where you see back here in the background, the sun just feels like it's always shining on you. And so you just have that full success in love. Okay. So we're talking about success long-term wise with that Empress. Okay. And so as far as what is hindering the relationship here, we have the Emperor. So he usually is kind of like the representation of the divine masculine, if you know about those terms. So he's kind of all like gung-ho, ambition. You got to go do all of this. So what could be hindering here, is that in his effort to kind of create stability, as we have up here with that Ace of Wands, you grabbing that potential, you moving out of those emotionally turbulent waters over to here where you're stable and calm. He can be pushing. He can be too aggressive in trying to create that stability there, within the relationship. Because usually he's asking the other person to kind of be of service in the relationship. And what are you going to give? And what are you going to do? In the relationship, which makes sense. You are earth sign. That is kind of how we sometimes work, we like to kind of, to give, but also definitely get something back in return. You don't know already, I'm a Virgo. So a little bit different than you all. You all are generally concerned. And again, I say generally, with the building up of a family. All you do kind of out here in this world is to make sure that you are building an empire. You are building for the future. And so you take care of your family. You take on those heavy, strong responsibilities because you know that it's going to be returned back to you as you invest in your family. You'll get a return back on that. But sometimes the aggressiveness can be a little too strong and you wanting to go ahead and build this empire. So kind of slow down. It doesn't have to be so aggressive with you trying to bring about stability in this relationship. So know of when do you want to have a family? You want to have a family? How are we going to do this? You have a job? You have financial? Nah. I don't know why they're coming out with that, but that's kind of the energy that I'm getting right now. Um, and so those are the questions, especially if we're talking about the Ace of Wands and the position, and you just kind of pushing ahead really fast, pushing forward really fast. Okay. But what is helping the relationship here is that we have the Four of Pentacles, and Four of Pentacles usually comes out when people are being really stubborn, and their refusal to kind of move forward and everything else like that. But with it coming out here as far as something that's helping the relationship, it tells me that the two of you are willing to invest. They're willing to kind of put in their time in the 3D in order to build the empire. It just doesn't have to be so aggressive when we're making that investment, especially with it being on top, beneath the Empress, the divine feminine energy. She just kind of allows you to be who you are and to nurture you and to gently guide you. And so here it's like, we're going to invest, we're going to take it slow and build stability that way. We don't have to build stability at a rapid pace here within the relationship. So we're not talking about 3, 4, 5. What is your 5-year plan and everything else like that? Slow down. They are willing to invest in there, and there is a strong potential here for you to move forward. But let's just slow down, okay? And then what also came out here is the Queen of Cups. Okay. So again, that kind of nice, gentle, feminine energy where she says that you can, the two of you can kind of blossom and understand each other in this relationship. And in order to be able to move forward, you have full clarity of thought. You can have also emotional balance. But with the Queen of Cups, sometimes, she can kind of come out, and if she gets a little too emotionally imbalanced, she can, start to blame herself because she's taking in all these emotions within the relationship. And that can kind of stir the pot here, however. So we just want to be careful with as far as the Emperor card being something that's of a major arcana, as far as the hindrance. So he can sometimes overtake the minor arcana cards. Okay. So she comes out with this gentle, loving energy. But she is kind of supported by the Empress. Okay. So you have the potential to invest in love, to invest in a long-term, emotionally satisfying relationship here, okay? And so what is it you need to work on? Death has been coming out for like everybody. I just think that's something that's what's in the air, is that everybody wants to kind of transform, not just on the outside, but maybe we are ready to kind of transform on the surface, on the inside as well, to deal more than just with surface level crap. Okay. And so we realize that we have to change, and figure out who we are, on the inside in order to have better, in order for it to reflect on the outside. And so that's kind of what's happening here in the death card is not, like I always say, a negative thing that comes out. It's just about letting go what no longer serves you, those attitudes, those beliefs, in order to bring in the new stuff that will serve you. So if we have over here a relationship that's pushing, where you usually push too far, too fast, then we do a slowdown. Yes, you come out with the questions and say, well, where do you see yourself? What kind of relationship would you like to have? Those are, I think, are okay kind of questions, or to kind of have the relationship transform when we're building, stable ground. If you're already in your connection, and have it transform into something that is really um, benefiting the both of you for the empire that the two of you would like to create. Okay. Um, and so what is it that they need to work on? So see all that pushing over here with the emperor being really aggressive. They're over here and they're in like the 7 of Wands. They're like, okay, wait a minute. I need to be a little defensive. I am, my own separate person. I have my own separate beliefs and everything else like that. And I'm not going to allow you to kind of come in and mesh, all of that, in. I want to, um, kind of be my own person. Or if the two of you, it's interesting because sometimes they bring up people who are in a relationship, sometimes they don't. If the two of you are already in this connection, then 7 of Wands comes up to say sometimes to me, be careful what you're holding in, because you're going through the transformation and they need to be careful of the stuff that they're holding in, because it could, again, go back to that emperor over there where things are too aggressive. And so they're holding back maybe anger or any of those other negative feelings because things might have pushed forward too fast. And so that might be a little bit defensive. And so what they're going to have to allow next is the Tower energy. I know, not a great card to see. A lot of people don't like seeing it, but the Tower is, again, it's kind of like death. It comes in, it swoops, it cleans everything out in order for you to build the foundation. So again, a lot of people are going to do transformations, but just in different kind of ways in order to have, you know, different changes, because we're the same, but not all the same, if you guys can understand that. Or something happens suddenly in which they become defensive, or they're able to kind of let their guard down. Maybe it's because they sense the change that's happening in you. You become less aggressive, or you're willing to kind of work on the relationship, in order to build in a way that incorporates them, into the equation. Okay. And so that could be the sudden change that happens for them, okay? If they're experienced with the Tower card. So what comes out here is the 8 of Pentacles. Pentacles always show to me happens in the 3D. So in the 3D, you two are able to build this really strong, stable relationship, which I know, of course, you would like to hear as a Taurus, right? Because the two of you have put in the work, all the work that needed to be done, on, yourselves and, on the relationship, because the relationship, again, has its own energy, which was the Emperor and the 4 of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, energy. Okay. So, I have some Romance Angels cards for you guys here. So first we have is passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So you guys, you have this passionate, that exists between the two of you. It can be, incredibly strong because we have it show up here with the Ace of Wands. Passion exists within the Empress, just at a different level. She's able to kind of balance that out. The Emperor, the passion is a lot more aggressive. So I'm not saying that there isn't a passionate connection here, but allow this passion to be able to kind of, transform you, and that it doesn't overtake everybody's, interest in, having a relationship, seeing where it goes in the next 5 years, and building the empire and building, the family home and the family nice. So just kind of like slow down. And you can slow down and still build stability there. Okay. And then finally we have attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So again, what I was saying before, enjoying being present at where the two of you are now, taking it slow and not pushing forward so fast. Because, you see here on her face, she's not worried. She has enough time to take in the roses. Her heart is fully open. It's fully green. And so she's able to track, that healthy, happy, love that's able to build slow, that has that slow burning passion that will not flame out, right? And just kind of able to enjoy each other's company and whatnot. Okay. And then finally, I have from the universe has got your back oracle cards, advice from the universe. Okay. 3 cards. The first card that came out was, I let go of the shadow of the past by seeing someone for the first time with the eyes of love. That's that death card. That's that transformation that you go through, Taurus, right? So you kind of open your eyes when you slow down, when you kind of take in who they are as a person, and they do the same thing. They're able to kind of take in who you are as a person because they're being less defensive. And so we have that sudden change that happens, and you can have that, 8 of Pentacles outcome, but more importantly, that Empress level of long-term potential. That's a big yes. And then we have next, I am the loving energy of the universe. Woo-woo. Back over here to that Empress. She is love. She's what you two can achieve long term. Okay. And then finally, energy flows where my intention goes. Okay. So that the two of you are interested in transforming who you are in order to create a stable relationship. You're focused on not just what it is that you want, but what is it that the other person wants, incorporating them. Attraction, slowing down, enjoying that passion that the two of you share.